$19 Fortnite card. Who wants it?
No more Fortnite?
Let's just talk about that video. So that came up on this day, whatever. It would have been, I think, 3 years ago when I was still living with my abuser and desperately trying to understand what was going on, what was wrong. And of course, I thought that I was the problem, or the problem was just that, I just happened to have a partner who was activating my attachment wound. And while attachment theory is a very real thing, and it's very important to understand our attachment, why we have the attachment that we have, obviously it can change depending who you're around. It's important to understand that these wounds came usually from when we were little, but it's not great to be in an abusive relationship and be using things like attachment style or the Enneagram or whatever to explain away and justify the problems in the relationship and think like, oh, this is just a little issue of some attachment wounds, or this is just a little issue of like, they're an Enneagram 5 and I'm a 7 and I want this and they can't do it, or whatever else. I used several different things that people will talk about in order to heal or relate to others, etc. What's the other one? Love languages, right? Like all of those tools, I was trying to explain away the problems in our relationship. So again, attachment is a very real thing. However, I want to point out that it's not always the reason why there's an issue. You can see in that video that I very clearly felt like I had been doing okay. I was handling life pretty well, previous relationships, even if they weren't amazing. I was still at least emotionally stable, emotionally intelligent, and then all of a sudden, bonk, oh, my partner's activating my attachment wound or these wounds from my childhood, and I'm batshit crazy. Like, I just felt like I had regressed to like my preteen years, and I was fighting with my mom, which, yeah, that was the pattern that I was repeating, which will never happen again. But that is how I felt. I felt like I couldn't communicate. I felt like I was crazy. I felt unseen. I felt unloved. It was horrible. It was yucky. So if you're in this situation and you're like, not a great partner, but like, oh, I should really just make this work, but I think there's something wrong with me. And it's probably just, oh, it's my attachment is making us incompatible. And it's not like their attachment issues, right? It's just yours. Or it's like, oh, just because I'm this Enneagram and I just like, I'm so weird about this and that. And like, we're just like mildly incompatible or whatever. Please use those tools as like a little bit of information, but just know if someone is abusing you, it doesn't matter what your attachment wound is. It doesn't matter what your Enneagram is, what your past experiences are, how much you want to try to make yourself better, anything like that. It doesn't matter. The abuse is going to continue until you get far, far away. Oh, and also you can see at the end of the video that I'm like, oh, my trauma and previous issues are coming up, whatever. That's because they ask you in the very beginning what your trauma is, and then they will use that to abuse you throughout the rest of the relationship. So again, do not be fooled. Do not let anyone tell you the problem is you, it's your attachment, it's blah, blah, blah. If you're being abused, you're being abused. It's not going away until that person is far, far away from you.